Hello, welcome to the sideboard here at the StarCityGames.com Invitational, part of the SCGINVI, brought to you by Ultimate Guard. Nick Miller alongside our now Invitational champion, Aaron Barich. Congratulations, I've known you for a long time. You said it's been 5 years since you've taken home a trophy.
Too long.
This one, it is yours now. Using the decks of your stylings, I've known you and you've always been beating down and playing things like Blossoming Defense and all the pump spells. I think it's fitting you took it down with Indefect here today.
Yeah, I mean, that's just what I do, right? I've been doing it since my first top 8 was with Niagara, playing things then, and I had some top 8s with Gather Courage, and Infect has always been my style of deck, and this was actually, I never even top 8 and open with it. I was always the 11-4, the top 16. I was very consistent at top 16ing and top 32ing, but I never broke through. And this weekend, it finally did what it needed to do, and I ended up going 10-1 in matches with Infect, so.
That is incredible, especially when you look at the modern metagame and how some of it shifts. You know, the stuff that beats humans can definitely have some splash damage there. On the Infect deck, Jeskai was the #1 deck. But I mean, I checked in with you at the end of Modern on day 2, and you rattled off wins against Mardu Pyromancer and Jeskai Control back-to-back. Talk about your sideboard plan. Obviously, you didn't need to use it any today, but your spicy sideboard plan on how you kind of beat all those nothing but removal decks.
Yeah, so this weekend I packed Dice of St. Traps. It's been a long time. I played the deck at an Invitational, I think 2 or 3 years ago. I had Geist in my sideboard. I ended up playing them on camera against Jonathan Sukenik, and it felt like the right time. You know, Jeskai was back, Jund was back, Burn was on decline, there's no Zoo decks, so Kitchen Finks just doesn't look very good in the format, and you're looking for that extra threat in those matchups, and Geist St. Traft, pretty easy to splash, really high impact, so it's just the most simplest answer.
You also bring in Shaper's Sanctuary, which has the hilarious combo with Geist of St. Traft, but they're coming in a lot in the same matchups, right?
Oh yeah, they always come in together, and it's funny that, I mean, they're like better in different matchups. I think Shaper's Sanctuary is a card that's very good against the black X decks, where Geist St. Traft is a little better against the blue control decks. Biggest factor, costing 1 mana, you can play it before they Thoughtseize you.
Definitely.
Where if you have Geist in your hand, if you're playing against a Jund deck, or if Grixis Shadows, you play against one of those, you know, your opening hand kind of just doesn't matter. You're getting Thoughtseize Inquisitioned, and you're more about hoping to top deck well, which Geist is good at doing that, but when you're on the play with that turn 1 Shaper's Sanctuary, changes the whole dynamic of the matchups.
Let's fast forward to today. You know, the top 8, you see how the bracket shapes up. A lot of us here in coverage saw you as a favorite if the bracket broke how it did. What did you think looking at the matches last night?
So I definitely thought my first match was going to be good. The Mono Green Devotion deck had 0 main board removal spells, very little interaction. Post board, his only interaction was Walking Ballistas and Kozilek's Returns and Blood Moon. It definitely was not a deck suited to beat a creature combo deck. Going into the top 4, I was actually more worried about the Black Red Hollow deck than Fabiano. Because I think the Jeskai matchup, especially his list, where he trimmed on Path Exiles, had less removal, played Karns and Jaces and Teferi's main, had a lot of slow, expensive cards that's really going to favor me in the 1 and 2 pre-board games. But the Hollow deck, I think that matchup's hard, and he had a very good sideboard for me. He had 3 Grim Lavamancers, 3 Fatal Push, 3 Thoughtseize, and I was just fortunate enough where he ended up milling them after a Goblin Lore, and things panned my way in the 1 post-board game, and I was able to kind of steal it.
Yeah, I looked at that sideboard plan, I said, ouch, that is like 9 cards that are just backbreaking for you. You took the first 2 pre-board games, and then you kind of just had a bunch of lands and got unlucky with the Goblin Wars. And then you find yourself in the finals against Zach, in probably one of the best matchups for your deck in the format.
Yeah, so I mean, Zach is playing an artifact-based combo deck, very little blockers. His only mainboard interaction consisted of Engineered Explosives and Pyrite Spellbomb, and Spellbomb's not very good against the Mutagen Growth deck a lot of the time. So game 1 and 2, I felt very, very favored. You know, post-board, he gets these Ether Grids, and he gains access to Galvanic Blast, and Galvanic Blast is good, but easily countered by a lot of my spells, and Ether Grid's a big problem, but if his hand isn't very fast, and he doesn't have a lot of 1-mana artifacts, and he keeps it, then I might still kill him around it. But he ended up not having it. He had a pretty okay hand, but I had a very good one where I had multiple pieces of interaction, plus a pretty fast kill, which is everything I need post-board, and it all came together. One
of the fastest finals we've had, and we've had, of course, someone who likes Infect himself, Tom Ross, win some invitationals pretty quickly, but you had 2 turn 3s and a turn 4, 3-0, and a trophy, $20,000. Now we got to ask about the token here because Tom was watching, and as the Infect token himself, he does not want you to be the Infect token. What are you thinking about?
I can't do that to Tom. I can't overwrite his legacy. He's gone to work for WotC, but he is still the greatest of all time when it comes to Infect. It's not close. You know, I'm just in his shadow, but I'm doing what I can. I guess I'm the one carrying the torch now. It's past the Infect token. You know, I got maybe 1/1 soldier. We don't have a good 1/1 soldier. I kind of like that one. You'll see it in play a lot, and I like me some light aggressive decks. So maybe I get to play myself in the future. Could do Karn, Construct Token. I'm a big fan of the Karn. I think that card's going to be good for a long time. And I mean, one of my favorite cards in Magic is Advent of the Worm. So I could get like the 5/5 Worm token. I just can imagine myself like riding it with a lasso or something, cowboy in my token. Because I mean, my first open one was in Texas, so it all circles back around.
It all makes sense. We got our artists on hand. I'm sure they'll talk to you. They'll figure everything out, get the plans. We'll figure out your token, and you guys will be seeing it soon on the SCG Tour. Aaron, any closing thoughts? That was a great job this weekend.
I don't even know what there is to say. I just feel super lucky. That's all there is to it.
Oh, congratulations again, man. I'm going to send it back over to Todd and Cedric Linus. Time here for the Invitational.